Hello everyone, this is Crystal and welcome to my channel where I share card making techniques, sweet paper crafts, and now inspiring food ideas. If you are new here, I encourage you to subscribe and click the bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Today I bring you another project using scraps and pieces of your e-club kit and other items you may have in your stash. You may ask, what is an e-club kit? Well, Edith Ray from Scrapbooking with Me puts together a monthly subscription. That is a kit of coordinating craft ideas to make a monthly project. It also has a PDF file and a video on how to make the project. There's also a Facebook group where everyone shares their monthly project or other projects made from the materials from the kit. I'll post the link below in case you're interested. This card is what is called a floating frame card. It uses bits and pieces either from your paper pack, or you could stamp items and color them and cut them out and use them, whatever you decide. This would make a great card for your teacher at the end of the year, or a thank you card for your bus driver, or a Mother's Day card, or even a birthday card, or a just because I'm thinking of you card. So stay tuned as I show you how to make this inspiring and versatile card. Oh, and before I forget, there's also a bonus card at the end of this video, so stay tuned to the end of the video to see the second card that I make using the same type of technique. This floating frame technique is good for using up all your bits and pieces from your paper packs, which the one I used today is called Flower Market. That was one that came in our e-club kit for May. And here's some of the pages of some of the designs that I used. And all I did is I just cut up some of these pieces and I laid them down randomly on a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 cardstock for a template. And like I said, I laid them down. There's no glue or anything. Then I took some Glad Press and Seal and I just tore off a piece and put the sticky side down. As you see, some of my stuff moved a little bit, so I moved it back. But you put the sticky side down and you just smooth it out and press it down on your cardstock over all your bits and pieces that you have on there. Then carefully lift it up and you will cut away a lot of the excess press and seal. And then I took my bone folder and I went over it and I pressed it down even more just to make sure I had a good seal on all my little bits and pieces. And then I took my scissors and I went back over and I cut off all the rest of the excess, including the pieces that were hanging off the back of the cardstock. And now I took a rectangle die and I laid it in the center of my cardstock with a little washi tape and I ran it through the Big Shot. Now if you don't have a rectangle die, you can just cut a rectangle out of cardstock as a template, lay it on top of it, and carefully use an X-Acto knife. So now we have our frame, but we're going to keep the centerpiece because at the end of this video I'll show you how you can make a second card. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it on top of my base and add a little piece of washi tape to hold it in place. And then I'm going to bring out my Misty and I'm going to stamp on the front of this card. And I'm using the stamp set that came with our May kit. It's from May Made It. It's the one with the watering can. I don't remember exactly the name of it, but I'll post it on the front of the screen once I find it. And here I'm just kind of centering it on the front of the opening. I know it won't fit through the whole thing, but that's all right. And I'm using black Versamark ink and stamping it all down all across. And I won't get a really good stamp, but that's all right because it's just going to help me center it for later. As you see, I didn't get a good stamp, but that's all right. And now I'm going to remove the top layer, keeping the bottom part in the same spot that it was in my MISTI. And don't worry about getting the ink on that frame because we still had our press and seal on it, so it protected it. Now I'll go back over it again on the base to get a nice crisp image on the card base. And I'll do it a couple of times. And then I'll add the word bloom. And like I said, don't worry about the ink being on the frame because it's still covered with the press and seal. So I just took a cloth and I just wiped off the ink so I wouldn't smear it everywhere and get it all over the card front. And this next part is a little out of sequence. I should have colored this card first, but I was kind of anxious to see what it would look like with my frame because I've never done this technique before. So what I'm doing now is I'm removing the press and seal from the cardstock and removing it from the frame. And carefully do that because I don't want to remove the bits and pieces. We're not ready to remove them yet. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to be placing foam tape on the back of every one of those little pieces that I have. And if I would do this all over again, I would turn it upside down and I'd put all the foam pieces on at the same time. It would make it a lot easier. And then slowly take the tape off the back and slowly put them down. Because as you'll see in this video, I didn't do it that way and I got it kind of cockeyed and I had to lift some of them up a couple of times and straighten it back up. But I hope you learn from my mistakes. That way it'll go easier for you. And it'll keep you from trying to stretch the press and seal because I think I stretched it in a couple places, which had the frame a little wonky. And here you see I'm going to color in the flowers in the watering can with my watercolor pencils. And like I said, I should have done this first because as you'll see I have to lift up some of it to get underneath it because it showed down between my little pieces of my frame. I'm taking my Nuvo glitter pen and I'm going over and highlighting just some of the flowers and the ribbon on the front of the card. And now I'm slowly and carefully removing the press and seal from the top of the frame. And then when we're done, I added a little bit more ink in there, or not ink, but watercolor pencil. And now for my second card, we're going to take the center where we cut out for the frame and we're going to carefully take it off of the cardstock, and we're going to add all of our foam tape to the back of it, and we're going to add it to the center of a piece of cardstock. Now when you arranged your little bits on your template, if you decide you're going to use the center like I did, a good rule of thumb is to make sure that you put a larger piece in the center and kind of center it, so that way it looks like that you planned for this card too. And so after I put it down on the card, move the press and seal from the front of it. And now I'm going to add some enamel dots that came with our E-Club kit. I'll add 3 pink ones on the bottom left, and then I'll add 3 yellow ones to the top right. And here's our 2 cards that we made together. One of the frame and the other one of the insert. If you like what you see, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. And if you click on that little bell, you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. And please share me on all your social networks. Bye for now. Happy crafting!